Hello and welcome to another beautiful, beautiful day on planet Earth. Let's see if we can make this better. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. Okay, that's a little bit better. There's someone here already. I'm excited. This is going to be a very short video because I want to get back outside and enjoy this immensely, immensely, immensely gorgeous, gorgeous day. So, as you guys know, I talk often about not being on social media or not having much of a presence on social media lately. And I decided to go on social media this morning for like 5 minutes. And it was just a bunch of really strange arguments about BS, about today's gateway, today's portal. So, first thing I want to say is disregard what everybody says outside of you and look into yourself and feel the beauty and the nature that is today to understand completely what this portal is about. If you want to better understand these gateways and portals, what you really want to look at is the numerology and the math, because these days, all days are coded for very specific things. So when we're looking at what a gateway means or what a portal means, and I know some people don't believe in that stuff, but it's math. So really, you're talking about logic here more than anything else. I don't know what's my camera's sliding. Uh-oh. At least it's not on the floor. Okay, there we go. I've been having sound problems and tech problems, but what else is normal for me, right? What the day I make a video with no tech problems, you guys will be so shocked you won't know what to do with yourselves. I am in joy and I want to share this joy with you. If you want to understand the gateways, if you want to understand the portals, all you need to do is simply look at the numbers. Numbers are triggers within our DNA, within our calendar, and within our bodies for a whole host of reasons. I'm not specifically making this video about the portal. I saw a little bit too much combativeness earlier to even want to do that. I will tell you that 8 is the number of infinity. So at its basic root, we are talking about unlimited, infinite connection to the quantum field. That is what today is all about. Today is blowing my mind. The energy is amazing. And that's the reason for the short video. I'm going to want to get myself right back outside. So, having said that, this video is about the next stage of ascension. Now, we are not all at the same exact stage of ascension, but I know that the majority of the people here watching these videos are in the same place I am. You're in the same I am, maybe not exactly the same place. Some of you will be ahead of me, some will be in the same energetic space, and some will be slightly behind. Nevertheless, I want to tell you about that. So, with today being an infinite connection to the quantum field of all possibilities, all you need to do is change your mindset and feel in your body and in your heart space what it is that you wish your future to be, and feel that energy in this moment. That is all you have to do. This next stage of ascension is returning to childhood joy. And I'm so incredibly happy for this stage. I know people have been giving me a hard time about not reading or watching or studying things for quite a while now. But the reason I have been doing this, the biggest reason, is to stay in my own energy, in my own creative power, in my personal power, and in my power of creation. So when we're children, we're happy. And the reason we're happy when we are children is because we have a really good understanding of the people, places, and things in our lives that make us happy. And then we go to school, we start the indoctrination process, we go through the awkward teens, college, all those other things. So initially, the indoctrination process will squash what you know as a child. When you're a teenager, you're in your early adulthood, people will start talking to you about things that you must look for in a partner, things that certain credentials and necessities in your own physical life to survive. And we get taken out of that childhood state of bliss and joy. When we are younger, we know exactly what makes our heart sing. We know exactly the people that we love being around. We know exactly the kind of activities that interest us and bring us joy into our life. So you can look at it. It's interesting. After I was been writing down in my journal about this for the last probably maybe 2 months, I realized you can almost just compare it or overlay it to the hero's journey, maybe with slightly different titles. But essentially, we start out in the school system. We start getting told what our life should look like in order for us to be stable and happy, including the kind of jobs we have, the kind of attitudes we have, the kind of things that we should talk about that are okay to talk about, the kind of things that are not okay to talk about. And then the ascension process starts, or the ascension process has started for probably close to at least a third, if not a larger portion of this planet. So I'm not going to dwell on the past stages of ascension. I think you guys all know them very, very well. But initially, when you wake up, you realize that something is very, very wrong here. You start to read, you start to study, you start to watch videos, and then you fall down the rabbit hole, which seems for years and years and years that it's just a bottomless pit of negative information about how the world really works, how the world really functions, and what the priority is by a certain percentage of this planet who does not want to see the ascension process happen. Eventually, you will come out the other side of this and expand your consciousness. When you do that, your internal world takes over and becomes your entire life. When you start to go within, when you come out of the other side and say, I'm not studying anymore, I'm not reading anymore, whatever. And I don't mean things that fascinate you, but I mean specifically not reading, studying, or watching about the corruption and all of those kinds of things anymore. You start to really enmesh yourself in your entire life by what is going on with you internally, your visions, your dreams, your messages, your synchronicities, all that stuff. And I know you guys are at that point. The reason I'm mentioning this now is this current stage for most of us, and some of us, the next stage of ascension, is all about returning to your childhood joy. So we're taught a lot of things. There's a lot of indoctrination in the school system, in the church, all of it. You guys are completely aware of that already. Now, this is a necessary process. If you want to look at it like the hero's journey or an overlay of the hero's journey and how we expand our conscious awareness and how we come into the different stages of ascension that I've been talking about for the last 3 years, you get to the point, like I said, where everything just becomes internal. What does Tina want? What makes Tina's heart sing? And you start connecting with those people, places, and things that then return you to childhood bliss. So this current or next stage for you in ascension is all about returning to childhood bliss. Okay. You've studied everything. For me, I won't tell you that I studied everything, nor will I go into what I have or have not studied. I probably maybe studied a little bit too long. After the 2020 election, I stopped reading, studying, or watching anything outside of myself, unless it was something about numerology, decoding the universe, quantum physics, that kind of thing, And by no stretch of the imagination am I close to studying to the point where I am a scientist or even know much about quantum physics. But what I'm telling you in a simple nutshell is I realized after diving into the rabbit hole so deep for so long that whatever they said was true, the opposite was the truth. And whatever they told me or you or us to do, I would literally, to be healthy, happy, and joyous, do the opposite of what they said. So that is the mentality and the mindset and the heart space that I took on. I moved out of studying anything that didn't bring me joy or expansion and ditched everything that came from the rabbit hole. Now, I'm not suggesting, I mean, it's a total necessary part. So no one gets to skip that. No one gets to skip diving deep into that knowledge and realizing that it's really important to know that you're not being fed the truth, that what you're being told is the opposite of the truth, and that if you do the opposite of what the narrative is telling you, you will be happy, you will return to joy, and you will dive so deep into yourself that you will get to know yourself in a way that changes and magnetizes your field to the point that everything you've ever wanted shows up for you. Okay. And that's what I have just started to dive into. Even though I've been working on this for a really long time, I've had a couple of amazing breakthroughs lately. When you were a kid, you knew exactly what you were happy doing. You knew exactly the kind of people you were happy being around, and you somehow lost all of that due to the indoctrination growing up, going to school, getting a job, getting married, all of those 3D things that we do. And they're all a necessary aspect and they're all a necessary part to the journey. The part of the journey now of returning to childhood being the next step of ascension means you literally have done a 360. So you've gone completely out of everything that you have studied, everything that you've learned, everything that's been given to you as some sort of indoctrination. You turn your back on it and go back to what brings you joy, bliss, happiness, contentment, and magnetizes the absolute life of your dreams into your body and into your field. And that is when your life will change in absolutely astounding ways. I am blown away by the last 2 weeks of my life. I really, really am. And I am in so much incredible joy right now. So I have been reiterating being in alignment with your soul map, and that is the things that you have chosen for yourself. Now, you don't need to look at the soul map, nor have I had access directly to my map. I simply know what's on my map by whether that makes me smile, whether that makes me feel loving and joyous and sensual and creative and brilliant and all those amazing things that happen when you expand your consciousness and study to the point where you come back from the macro back down into the micro of yourself. You say to yourself, what brings me joy? Where is my happiness? And that is what will absolutely change your life. It will shift your energy to the point that you become a magnet to love. You become a magnet to friendship. You become a magnet to divine partnership. You become a magnet to what you actually here to do. You become a magnet to abundance. You become a magnet to self-confidence and self-worth. Every single thing about your life will change it, will change. And when you change that in this last I don't know, I should call this the last and final stage of ascension. It very much feels like it to me. And I don't mean in the way of the light body, but I mean in the way of the hero's journey and what we've signed up to come here to learn, our karma, our study, all of our outside influences that have an effect on us. When we make the internal decision to return to the joy that we knew as a child, your entire life changes. You don't need to study anything anymore, because that God source simulation that I talked about in the last video will reverberate back to you the answers from outside of yourself, that the universe, that the code, that this math holds. Math is pure, the essence of pure logic to tell you what is happening synchronistically, logically, and in a very, very simulated computer programming sort of way. So today, being 8-8 is about connecting with absolute infinite abundance of the quantum field of all possibilities. And all you simply need to do is breathe in the new life, the new energy, and the new person that you want to be. I cannot tell you how amazing and how life-changing this is. For those that have been with me for a while, I talked about this very briefly in another video many months ago. When I was synchronistically when I was about 8 years old, I had a dream or a vision when I was wide awake in my bed. For whatever reason, I couldn't sleep. And I had this vision of myself walking down the steps onto the back porch and into the backyard. And I in the backyard like this, just staring out into the horizon, and just nothing but like azure blue skies and the twinkling of stars to be seen for miles and miles in the country where I grew up. When I looked out into the distance and I'm standing there with my hand on my hips, I see this, what looks like a little teeny ticket booth that you would see at a circus or your local county fair or something. And I've had a reoccurrence or a flashback to this memory that I had when I was 8 every year until probably about 2 years ago when I got sick. Now, the first time in 42 years that I decided to walk directly up to the ticket booth and see what this person was selling tickets to. And to my surprise, when I got to the ticket booth, and when I'd seen the ticket booth, this person was always just kind of walking around doing their thing. They were never looking directly at me. They were never just standing there. They were always just in the box, smiling, doing something, taking care of whatever it is. So 42 years into seeing this at least once a year, I walk up to the ticket booth and I look at the person in the ticket booth, and then she raises her face and looks at me, and it was me. I just got the chills. So 42 years took me to realize that the person selling tickets in the ticket booth was me. It was so incredible, especially something that reoccurs as a vision for 42 years. This is the only time that's ever happened to me. And it was absolutely magical. And I asked her, excuse me, but what are you selling tickets to? And she said, it's unlimited. I'm selling a ticket to anything that is your desire. And I just smiled when I realized that. Again, this just happened 2 years ago when I got sick. That realization after 42 years of that. Yesterday, when it came up again this year, I went, closed my eyes, saw the same exact star-filled azure blue sky that I saw 42 years ago when I was 8 years old. I closed my eyes, walked over to the ticket booth, looked at myself, and myself said to me, how can I help you? And I said, I would like to order something. And she said, sure, of course. What would you like? And I said, I'd like a one-way ticket to quantum healing. And she said, we've been expecting you. Unbelievable what will happen if you are relying on yourself for information. And I know sometimes videos get around and people don't understand and whatever, and it's totally fine. I am where I am. This beautiful space is healing me and magnetizing me. I've been working towards and on and over and under this healing process in a sometimes very frustrated way for 2 years. And I have finally figured out how to do it. And that is the reason that about 5 days ago, I made a post on Facebook. I will be making some sort of webinar, and that webinar is going to be about how we heal ourselves and return ourselves to the natural state of divine order and perfect health of every cell of our body. It is going to talk about disease cures and prevention. It's going to talk about how to change your mindset. It's going to talk about the foods that save your life and the foods that we cannot live without. It's going to talk about different oils, how they are used, what their benefits are. There's going to be a whole lot of things. If you're interested, you can check out my Facebook post on that. This is not going to be a free video. I am finally fully stepping in is the word I want to use, but actually it's more like a self-experiment, and the universe is just reverberating back in an awe-inspiring way how I can be of assistance. And I know people charge hundreds of dollars for webinars like this. I'm not going to do that. I'm simply going to charge enough so that I can be able to take care of myself, pay my rent, and my minimal responsibilities. So again, there's a post about that if you're interested. I am so excited to do that. What platform it's not going to be on depends on how many people show up. It may be done through a Zoom meeting. It also may be done on Vimeo as just a video that you can purchase. Again, it's going to depend on how many people that sign up. So I want you to know that when you sign up for this, you can look at the topics that are being discussed, and that was posted today. That was posted this morning on my Facebook post. So you can look at the topics that are going to be discussed. And when you sign up for it, if you have any questions within those broken down genres of what's going to be discussed, you can send those to me and I will address them directly in the video. If I do Zoom, then it'll be open for like a Q&A where we can interact with each other. But because I have a slower internet and haven't found any tech assistance at the moment, it may be coming to you through Vimeo. So I would prefer to have your questions in advance, just on the off chance that I cannot do, technically cannot produce the Q&A in the way that I would like it to be. I want it to be interactive. That video, that health information is going to be probably up. I wrote it out this morning. It's not completely done. I'm also open to feedback if there's something you want to be addressed. Again, questions about what I have already posted or additional things that you want addressed. I will also take into consideration those things as well. It's starting to get hot in here because my air conditioner takes over the sound of my videos, and that doesn't work that well for me. But I am so super excited to be doing this, you guys. This has been such an incredible 2 years in so many ways. I have even at points said goodbye to people because I thought it was my time to say goodbye to people. This information is life-changing, life-altering, and I don't want to get choked up. But that's why I want to share this information with you. I've been experimenting on my body and my mindset and my outlook on life, and that just reverberated even more that I needed to return to my own childhood joy and childhood bliss. Part of us being in alignment with our soul map includes us being a radiant version of, and picture of perfect health. And if you guys have probably noticed, more than anything else, my energy has very much changed in videos over the course of 2 years. I do want to make a brief apology for the video that I made about the conning that is going on through social media, but I had been asked by higher self or myself, I might as well look at it that way, to do it for 5 days. I didn't want to do it. I felt like it was negative, but there was a group of people that really, really needed to hear that. I know some people took it at it. I also know that other people read it the wrong way, or maybe I didn't communicate clearly what I was saying. I never said all divine masculines were in this energy. I never said that people that were doing this, that were having this happen to them, were not on the ascension path. And I never said that doing this, and women, because I did say that women were doing this as well. I did not say that they were not divine beings. I did not say that they were not the divine masculine. What I simply said was, when people make choices and are not willing or not at the place yet to make a course correction about the things within their physical life to more embody them onto this journey, they end up hurting other people. That was my point. I've been doing a lot of readings. There's a lot of hurt people, not just women, you guys, it's men too. That's why I was prompted to do that. Many people thanked me personally for doing that, for sharing that, and how much that helped them. I've just noticed a lot of divine feminine energy feeling really leggy, really stuck, really stagnant because this particular thing happened to them and they weren't sure what it meant and how to adjust to it. That's the reason I shared it. Now, I will tell you that last night I went to delete the video, but I got a phone call, so my finger was on the delete button and it didn't happen. This morning when I got up, I asked, should I delete this video? Reverberate back to me the answer. And the answer came in an awe-inspiring, fiery way. And that's how I've ordered all of my answers to come. So it's been something that's amazing and beautiful. You might try it. Instead of simply asking for the answer, ask it to show up in a way that's inspirational and awe-inspiring to you. So when I asked if I should delete the video, I heard one of my favorite rock bands, Yes, from a long time ago. I heard the song, It Can Happen to You, It Can Happen to Me, right? And then I thought for a second, I know that's the answer. Who is this band? And then I realized it was the band Yes, and immediately went on YouTube and deleted that video. I didn't mean it to be offensive. Whoever needed to see it, whoever needed to hear it, has already done so. So that has been deleted. And again, I did not, from the bottom of my heart, mean to hurt anybody's feelings, nor was I throwing the divine masculine or feminine in there as a whole. So there we are with that. I want to thank everyone who has reached out to me for a medical intuitive reading. I want to reach out to everyone that's reached out to me for a tarot reading or intuitive relationship reading. And I want to reach out to everybody that has done these extended readings. These extended readings, the long reading has bringing through incredible information, not only for the person on the receiving end, but for me as well. Because when you are a healer and a teacher, everything that you do is not just for the other person, it's also for you. And that is why I share so many things that are coming from these readings. The reason I want to say thank you is when I get out of bed in the morning, both feet go on the floor and my arms go over my head, and I say thank you, thank you, thank you for 2 feet on the floor of this beautiful planet, for another day of beautiful experience on this beautiful planet that I have chosen to stay here until I decide to exit. Once you are connected to the quantum field of healing, your possibilities are endless. Your potential is absolutely, absolutely limitless. And I want to share something very briefly because I'm heading back outside that came through in a reading the other day. A lot of us have been in the hermit mode for the past 2 years, but I was given some information from Spirit, specifically how to use hermit mode in a different way than we've been currently using it. So we've been kind of using it to detach a little bit, shine our inner light on our inner world, duck out of the 3D things that are no longer pleasing or assisting to us. But Spirit was very adamant when you are in this mode of reflection, okay, the Hermit card from the tarot. They gave me a very specific set of instructions that I want to share with you. You are working on a project of self-healing, a project of self-abundance, a project of changing geographical locations. Whatever you are pulling from the quantum field, whatever you are working on manifesting in your life, there is something here that can really, really help you with that, because we're guided to go do the hermit mode a little bit different than we normally do it. And that's what I'm 3111. That's what I'm going to share with you now. Okay. So Spirit is guiding us to walk within our internal terrain of the Hermit card. Shine the light on yourself. And I know you guys know these parts, but here's the part that may be a little bit unfamiliar to you. So incredibly important. Retreat yourself from study, outside influence, and talking about your situation with other people for 7 days. Now, if you have a person that you can talk to things about in a really high vibe way, go for it. This is not telling you to hermit for 7 days and not speak to anyone or not watch any videos or not read books or articles. It's just saying, don't read, study, talk to people that will discourage or take you out of the solitary mindset of exactly what it is you're trying to manifest. Okay. So walk within your internal terrain, shine the light on yourself, retreat from study, outside influence, or talking your situation over with other people for just 7 days. If you have a person that you can talk to about this and they're not going to stop you and say, how are you going to pay for this dream? Or how are you expecting Mr. Right to knock on your door at midnight or whatever? That's what I'm saying. If you have a person you can share those things with and they will play along with you, that will increase this time of hermiting in the direction of energetic abundance. But I'm saying don't share those dreams, those goals, whatever those things are with people that will take you out of the mindset. That's the reason you went to hermit mode to begin with. That's the important part. Okay. For those days, write down your ideas, your messages, your inspirations, and your guidance. Do this no matter how short, no matter how silly, or how small those messages seem to you. If they seem small, silly, or insignificant, write them down anyway. Okay. Do this daily. You just want to take notes for these second 7 days. The thing is, here's how we want to do it. Step out of the mind. Don't use the mind. Don't use logic at all. Okay. Logic comes into the plan when you have manifested that thing. And now I need to make the plan, buy that house, whatever that. Logic comes in the planning stage, not the creation stage. Avoid anything that's logical for 7 days when it comes specifically to what you're trying to create or manifest. Okay, so take brief notes, not having to write pieces or soliloquy or anything like that. We're talking just have one piece of paper for the week. That's probably all you're going to need. Jot down notes as they come to you. Do not think. Leave the brain out of this. Don't think, just feel and just write. At the end of the 7 days, go back to your notes, read them. Now, when you go back to those notes and you read them, that is the time at the end of 7 days, at the end of hermit mode, that's the time you want to read all the message you've been given. Use your logic and your intuition in balance, okay, to discern what those different messages are telling you. This is feedback coming directly from the source simulation of God on how to get exactly what it is that your current experiment is working on. That's exactly what that is. So 7 days of jottings, 7 days are over. You go back and look at them with a balanced, logical, intuitive approach, and then you can write out what that direction or what ideas or messages, what those mean and where that's pushing you. If there's anything at that point that you don't quite understand, 2 ways are suggested in going about it. If it's butterflies or animals or birds or objects, look up the ancient symbology and what the meaning is, that to better understand what you're getting, because things won't every single person. Even if you and I are working to manifest the same thing, we won't get the same image, because we will get what is awe-inspiring to us, and what is awe-inspiring to me may be different than what is awe-inspiring to you. The other thing about this is we've studied different things. We've grown up with different backgrounds. So that will also influence the way the reverberation comes to you and how that answer appears. So go to, look up what those ancient symbols mean for animals and things like that. Anything else that you don't understand that you have written down, simply ask the universe, God, source, to send you back a reverberation of specifically what this means, or clarification means on the thing that you don't quite comprehend. This came through in a reading for my beautiful friend, Terrell, who watches every video. Hello, Terrell. Love you. I had a second reading that day, and I was told by Spirit to go back to Terrell's reading and give that second person the second message. Judy Hinman had a beautiful, beautiful reading the same day. Hello, my friend Judy Hinman. I was just amazed. The conversation was amazing. At 9:30 at night, when I was done reading in my pajamas and halfway ready to climb in bed, my phone rang and someone wanted an emergency reading, which went on for 2 hours. And if that's something you ever need, message me. I can do emergency readings. Not in the middle of the night. I respect my sleep very much. But message me if you need a quick, like, emergency reading, or a short-term, a fast reading. I'm getting hot and losing not my personal power, that's for sure, but my brain power here. So that is available to you. Now, on this emergency last-minute reading, I had nothing prepared. I had nothing written down. I had no transcript. We just went through the process for 2 hours and we winged it. It was an absolutely incredible, incredible reading. Thank you, my friend Mary, and hello. But at the end of that reading, Spirit told me to give her the same message that was originally started with Terrell, then trickled down to Judy, and then trickled down to Mary. And when I hung up with Mary, Spirit said, this is a message, the 7-day procedure for absolute super manifestation that you need to share with everyone. And so that's why I wanted to share it with everyone. On a last, and wow, I don't know how I just keep talking and talking, 38. On a final note, I've been putting an incredible amount of work into these readings. Even the mid-sized reading, which, by the way, no one's ordered the short impromptu reading, so I'm not going to address that. The mid reading, I have spent about an hour and a half in preparation, sometimes 2 hours, depending on how much is coming through, before I get on the phone with you. When I get on the phone with you, as you guys who have done this know, minimum it goes an hour. Most people are doing 2 hours. The all-inclusive reading, where I look at your north and south node, I look at your lessons, your destiny, all of that stuff, and do tarot readings about what you need to know and break it apart into the different sections of your life. I also do a walking meditation and collect images, messages from Spirit, which are also written down to you. So that reading is taking me 3 hours in preparation, and I was charging $77 for it. If I do that reading, that is an entire day's project for me. The reason I'm mentioning this, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, because my God, this energy is incredible, and I'm going right back outside. Those reading prices are going to change. The small impromptu 30-minute, $33 reading is not going to change because I have no reason to change it. Not one person's ordered it, so I don't even know how that's going to go. The mid reading that is currently $55.55 is going to go up to $65.55. The inclusive extra long reading that I'm doing is going to go up to $100. Okay. And these prices are going to change on August 11th. Anybody who wants to book a reading before those prices change, regardless of when you want that reading, book that reading before August 11th. Or if you, I'll just say, if you book that reading by 8/11, oh, wow, there's a wasp in here. The one thing in Ohio that I'm actually afraid of. Sorry. If you book your reading, any reading on or before August 11th, you will get the old prices. Like I said, even if you book it now and don't want it for 4 weeks from now, that's totally fine. You will still get that. After the 11th, starting on the 12th, the price for the mid-range reading is going to $65, and the larger reading is going up to $100. So I just wanted to put that out there and let you be aware of it. Thank you again for the people who are doing this beautiful work on themselves and with me, allowing me to share their incredible information here. I appreciate that, and I love you, and I honor you so much for doing that. That wasp is getting closer and closer. Remain calm, right? Anyway, that's going to change as of the 12th. But as far as the readings, the medical readings, the tarot readings, the intuitive readings that I'm doing, every morning, and this is the reason I say thank you, every morning when I get up out of bed, I say thank you for another beautiful day on. And I am so excited. I've been getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, so you know I'm feeling better. And I say out loud, I love this job. I love this job. I love this job. I truly, truly love doing it. I put so much energy into it. I go complete silence meditation. I walk before everyone. I schedule 1 or 2 a day, so you're never getting clouded information or never getting information that's not of the highest good for you, because that's how serious. It's joyous and not serious, but I take assistance to you very, very, very seriously. And in doing very time consuming. Most readers are charging double what I'm charging for these readings. So I'm just going to go ahead and change my prices now so that I can do more than 1 reading a day. I love, love, love this job. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for sharing this incredible ascension journey, this healing journey with you, with me, with all of us. Thank you for everyone who has talked me off the ledge, everyone who has supported me, everyone who has donated to this channel, everyone that has booked a reading with me, allows me to stay here out of the workforce and focus on my quantum expansion and my healing. And I so, so, so love this job, and I so love you. And thank you for the honor and the privilege to be able to heal and help at the exact same time. I love you. Until next time. Bye.